All right, welcome to another Napoleon Total War replay. This will be taking place in the Napoleon Total War 3 mod. Very awesome mod. This is a really fun game. This will be a 4v4, not a 4 for 4 from Wendy's, but a 4v4 on Finland. I think this is the map. This is a pretty cool map, to my opinion, because you got the lakes and some forest and choke points. Pretty awesome map. I will be playing with the Poles. We'll have a France Spain, another France Spain, and a Imperial Guard. We'll take a look at my first ally over here, which he'll be playing with the Spanish French troops of 1807 to 1814. So he's got some dragoons. Those are pretty awesome. Some more dragoons. And looks like some hussars. Socios à cheval. He's got a lot of infantry, actually. A ton of infantry. He's got some Swiss. Well, actually, these are Hanover. These are troops from Hanover. That's pretty cool. Then we got some more, just some troops, some legion, reserves. Basically, a lot of reserve guys. These are Saxons. That's kind of cool. We got some infantry, léger. These are Prussians. How neat is that? Those are Prussian soldiers fighting for the French cause. Then we got, oh, everybody's changing up. That's okay. There is some Marines. How interesting. A little small unit, though. Volunteers. Let's see. And some more Legion Hanover. Or is that the same one? That's another one. Huh, cool. And then he's got some pretty good units back here of some French troops. And then he does have some voltigeurs, and these are Swiss voltigeurs. We got some more dragoons, cuirassiers. How awesome is that? And then we have some more hussars. All right, so that's the first French army. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to check out the other one. He's got most of his infantry going over here to this area, and he's got his cav over here. So we'll check it out. We've got some infantry. Well, those are, looks like some Saxons. Some guys from Coburg, probably looks like. Some just reserve infantry. Got an artillery piece, a 12-pounder. We got a general right here, some hussars. Then there's actual general. He has Jean Lannes, one of the original marshals for Napoleon. Pretty awesome guy. He died in Spain, actually. Took a cannonball that took off his knee, and he told Napoleon he could still go. And I don't think if you took a cannonball to your knee, you could still go. But he thought he could. We got some Westphalian troops. Those are from Germany. Those are one of the provinces in Germany, Westphalia. We got some voltages, some more artillery, and some more infantry. These are actually some, I don't know how to say that. I know like tirailleurs, they're like kind of like light infantry. They're actually young guard. And then for his cav, we've got some chasseurs à cheval, some more hussars, and they're nice blue. Look at that. I love the coat right there on the arm of hussars. Some more hussars, or cheval, chasseurs à cheval, some cuirassiers. We got 2 units of cuirassiers. Gendarmes à cheval. These guys are pretty sweet. We got some gendarmes Montes. I guess they're lancers. And chasseurs à cheval, and some more hussars, or chasseurs à cheval, and then some voltigeurs. So they're both French players there have really large armies. We're gonna check out the Imperial Guard. So up here we got some Young Guard Lancers. We have you can tell right here, we have the Grenadiers à cheval, so the big guys on black horses. One of my favorite units. Them and the first Guard Polish Lancers in the Old Guard were the only 2 regiments in the Old Guard, cav-wise, that never lost an engagement. They were the only 2. The Chasseurs à cheval and the Empress Dragoons lost a couple times, but the Grenadiers and the first Polish Lancers never did. Got some Old Guard. Look at their great coats. That's one thing that Vanilla doesn't have. The Vanilla doesn't have them in their famous great coats that they always used to wear. And then we've got some Young Guard. They look snazzy on the red. Look at the eagle. We got some more Old Guard, so shoes, some Young Guard, Old Guard, Young Guard, Old Guard, Young Guard, Middle Guard. They look pretty awesome. They have a little mustache compared to the Young Guard that doesn't really. Well, not everybody has a mustache in the Young Guard. And then the Old Guard, you got some grizzled veterans and their mustaches. And then over in the Middle Guard, you got some guys that are maturing up a little bit. Got some gray stashes, got some black stashes, some brown stashes, and we got another, oh snap, snazzy little officer right there. And another Middle Guard. So that's actually really good. Big line guard set up there. All right, now we're going to check out my army as the Poles. I took a pretty balanced build. I think I had 8 cavalry, or maybe 8 cavalry and like 11 infantry. I don't have any artillery, so it was pretty. Everybody's gotten. Oh, let's try to speed up and get them separated a little bit. Look at the infantry first. This is the. Look at these guys. These guys are the light infantry for the Poles. They are sweet. I don't even know how to say that name. Some Fizzy Lights, Fizzy Lizzy Liritzi guys are pretty awesome. The off drummer in his hat is awesome. There's some Pahota, there's some line. All right, now we're back to normal. More of the light. Pahota, I just love the Poles there in this era. They did such good stuff. Some Pahota, basically just infantry line. We got some Grenadiers. The Polish Grenadiers are pretty awesome. Some more Grenadiers, and then in the back got some more Pahota. Right here I do have Mikhail Sokolniki. He's one of the cav generals you can bring. He's got his hussars. I love the way the Polish hussars look in their blue coats and their snazzy shoulder coat. I have John Henrik Dabrowski as my main general. And we've got some Lancers over here. This is the 16th Uhlans. Check them out. They're awesome. Snazzy uniform for the officers there. And obviously we have way more Lancers over here. We've got the 15th, 7th, 20th. Like they're all, they all relatively look the same, different kind of coats, and they all got their Zapkas and their lances. Though I mean, Polish cavalry was quite revered. Kazakh cavalry was probably some of the best cavalry that you can really come across or have fight for you. And the Kazakhs, they always said that they feared nobody else, but they respected the Polish cavalry because the Polish were the only ones that were not scared of the Kazakhs. So they would actually go and fight them. And the Kazakhs, that was the only group of guys that they respected. Everybody else they thought they could just take them out no matter what. But there were several instances where the Polish really did get led into some traps. Because the Kazakhs are always famous for leading you on and then thinking you had the advantage, and then a bunch of guys come in at you from the side. But we're starting out. We got Russia over here, Austria, and the Helder Republic. The Helder Republic, or the Helder Expedition, not the Helder Republic, is actually a faction that is made up of Russian and British soldiers. I guess 1799, I guess. Speaking of Kazakhs, here's some Kazaki Don. They look sweet in their little hats. Backed up by some Dragoons. I believe these are Russian Dragoons. But got one ally moving up. They have actually Russians were able to place some mines here and actually have some Superi that they have stationed in this house, which is going to hold back that French player right there, but it kind of looks like he's not really paying a whole lot of attention to him. Cav is standing off over here. We've got some Dragoons there. Austrian Cav. He's got 4 units right here. He's got some Chevalier Légers and some Cuirassiers and some Chevalier Légers, which are basically kind of like medium cavalry Dragoons. And they're going to push up towards these infantry units right here, which, if you look, none of these infantry units can even form square. The Russian player over here, he's got some, I think these are basically hussars. Yeah, they're hussars for the Russians are sweet with their hats. Look at that. We've got some awesome hussars. Some Cuirassiers with their black breastplates, some more Hussars, and some more Cuirassiers. So the French players kind of cut them off. You know, if you in this mod, if you go through woods, it slows you down massively. So what is? I just saw that unit turned red for a second. They must have taken the shot from the 20 pounder. I mean 12 pounder. They're down from 30 to 20 now. Looks like we got some Strelki moving up. Some Strelki. Some Russian Strelki. So we got a standoff between French cav here and some Austrian cav. I'm starting to move up. And here we are, the first action of the fight. We have some Austrian cav charging into the French here. And at this point, this was not good. I could see this just because if they were able to beat this and take this whole entire side right here, I knew that we were going to be, I mean, we're cut off basically. So this was a pretty serious moment. French player didn't form square, but none of his guys can form square. He does have some cav over here, but very little. He's rushing his general over here to kind of give some, I guess, morale boost. But these guys are holding. I mean, I guess since they're all back-to-back fighting each other. But they're holding. Cuirassiers here. French player moves in. His those are just Hussars. Those are Chausseurs à Cheval against Cuirassiers. It's not going to bode well for him. General has finally come in. But I mean, for the French player, his infantry line has not broken. They're still standing. His guys have reformed, kind of shooting them at him. I know this Austrian player was pretty mad about this because he said that they were firing in melee. But I mean, I don't know. It's one of the rules in this game where you're not supposed to fire in melee. But I mean, these guys aren't in melee. They're not. Like these guys are standing here and they're shooting. I don't really. I guess it's like a game mechanic that they don't think is realistic. But I mean, if I had a musket ball and had a musket, I'm flipping shooting a guy coming at me with a horse. If there's some rules and people get mad about stuff. I mean, I can understand some things, but All right here. Didn't show you, but those are all Polish guys. They're all flipping dead because I drove. Because he didn't really allow much of access, and he staked this area, so my guys were just walking through, and he shot them with a 12 pounder. So I think I lost 23 guys in one unit. I don't know which one unit was, but it's tragic. It's quite tragic. Yeah, 20 guys, 73 guys in a unit. 53 of them are now left, and that one lost. Those Hussars lost some. But miraculously, the French player held. It was kind of devastating that none of these guys ended up breaking. I think he did lose his calf. That general right there. I don't know where those guys were. Sorry, dog is excited. So French player is going to move up, try to take on the Helder Republic. My cav is now in the open. My infantry is going to push up through here and kind of come at this area. Russia, he could come through here, but he's kind of blocked off by my cav. And then French player has him here. But it looks like he is actually going to try and go across this area here and form back up with his team. So we've kind of got it going. Imperial player is still way out there. Imperial player spawns super far away. Has to come out of the woods. That's automatically slowing him down. And he has to come through trees, which is slowing him down even more. Looks like Helder Republic. I mean, the Helder Expedition is kind of moving some guys through. Trying to get around. I guess it's going to work. My Polish cav is starting to film out into this area. French player is moving up more of his troops to kind of block out this. But I don't know why he should have pushed up more through here, but it's fine. Me and him worked pretty close together this entire game. Helder Expedition did charge, and it's funny how these guys now broke, but I guess they've lost a lot of guys. But I guess these Kanzaki and Dragoons are better than 2 units of flipping, whatchamacallit. The Austrian player does send out some units that are fanning out to try and, I guess, cut off my guys. I thought I could get around, maybe get some artillery pieces, maybe cut down some cav units. Polish cav is pretty good, mainly a cavalry faction. If you don't take more than 4 cav with the Poles, then you're not playing them correctly. Austrian player is completely trying to cut off this French player from even remotely getting near us. Most of my cav is pulling up. Austrian player is pushing in. So at this point, it's kind of hairy. Like I'm at a point where I can actually get my own cav cut off and they'll, that would not be a good situation. My cav being cut off from the rest of my army. Because I wasn't paying attention. My infantry had stopped here. It was his last location, but I do get them going in. But I mean, this is not good. And I start more cav start popping up. I had completely forgotten that this was a 4v4 instead of a 3v3 at one point in time. Imperial player is still pushing up. His Grenadiers au cheval are right there. They're kind of pushing in. Cav here. Because I completely forgot that there was another Austrian player. I thought both Austrian players were right here, but there's so many units right here. So I kind of told this guy to kind of like, come on, and then I'm like, oh, whoa, wait, that's not. This is where the entire other Austrian army is, and all my cav are just separated. Like we're vastly separated. I start noticing this, and I'm like, great. But these guys can cut me off here, and with me fighting them, I can't go this way because he's got infantry here, and then this guy's here. So I'm kind of in a tactical situation where it's not good for me. But the Marines of the Guard are they going in for a charge? No, they're getting in. They're getting a little close. So all my cavalry is starting to pull back. I was hoping this guy wouldn't charge some of these guys. My units are faster than them, but I was just really hoping that he didn't really get over eager. Right here, this is not going good for us at all. This French player has pretty much lost this side pretty much. A lot of his units are, all his units are routing. He's not stopping to get these guys to shoot. None of his guys can form square. But over here, I do take advantage. Thinking that he may not have noticed. I charge into the rear of these guys. I know these guys can form square, but maybe I can catch them off guard. I'm just basically going to push my way back through with Polish cav, basically forcing my way through. These guys cannot form square. These guys break. We destroy them. Charge into these guys. I'm just going to force my way back to my friendly lines, and I'm going to take some Austrians with me. French player's moving some infantry up. His infantry's arriving. His cav charged that one. We broke them. These guys are being broken up. These guys got snagged on the square. I told them not to attack, so we're not going to attack. But look at his guys catch up. Boom. They're starting to let them get into it right there. These guys can form square, but I'm hoping he's not paying attention. He's just trying to get them out. And he's not paying attention, and he's not going to form square, so I get into the back of these guys. I don't know. Maybe he tried to form square? I don't really know. But these guys did not break in with a square, so they got 105 and 139 guys. They're going to come back if we don't try to stop them. Sadly, those guys do break, but they're sitting at 46 out of 82. So they did form square. Don't know how they formed square. My cav was fully engaged with them, but they formed square. Square is kind of dumb in vanilla and this game, even when you have guys literally on horseback. So all my cav is luckily being pulled back. These guys are tired, but they're trying to cut down as many of these guys, and I'm hoping that these guys don't charge. So right now, this little isthmus, I guess, or a peninsula, whatever you want to call it, the Austrians and Helder expedition have completely taken it over, and they still have this area with his sappery. They still control, and they've only lost 3 guys. So we're completely split. This is not going good. Polish infantry is pushing up, but the enemy has a really good. This is a slight hill, slight elevation over here. The Russian player at this point is moving all his units over, so these guys are not even looking at anything. But we don't have any scouts or anything that way. Polish cav is still trying to mop up some of these guys, because I don't want any of these guys to come back. He does see I'm kind of overextending, so these guys are going to what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? I guess we're going to go for the artillery. And we're going to decide that we're not going to do that because these guys are actually facing me. They're not even... So we're going to run away. We are running away. Lost a pretty good amount of dudes. He did not form square. So we're actually going to fight them. I think they got stuck on that. I didn't really want them to engage that because they're all I don't want to lose all my cav right now. This is my most important. I'm pretty positive I'm shooting into my own guys right now. So enemy cav coming in. I'm gonna have to get these guys out of there. Yeah, they're gonna rout, but they should come back. I mean, they're 63. They're above half. I mean, these guys came back. Oh, and these guys came back. These are the guys that routed earlier. So they should come back. That's a big unit to lose. But I mean, these Cuirassiers, they're pretty low on numbers too. But Polish infantry has pushed up. The full might of the Polish. Aw, man, I lost some grenadiers. Dang, come. Pulling up the 20th Uhlans. Finally, the Guard is showing up. This guy kind of pushes cav because I kind of told him to, and I didn't tell him to push it back. So he really wasn't paying attention, and I didn't pay attention to tell him otherwise. Grenadiers Oshavel are in the fight here. They're going to duke it out with these Kazaki. I know Kazakhs are pretty tough, but I don't think they're going to really hang out well with Grenadiers Oshavel. Sapri still holding this building. Like this is a pain in the butt for these guys over here. Our skirmishing fight over here is pretty much done. I do take a chance at these Cuirassiers just to get a charge, get some kills in them, maybe force them to try and fight my infantry, maybe get them a little closer. But as y'all saw in that thing, CAD General's taking some pot shots, which is it's pretty annoying that you're going to shoot my general all the way back here when you have infantry all through here that you could shoot at, and you're going to shoot my general. It's kind of annoying, kind of petty, but I'm being petty about it too because it's a legal move. It's legal to shoot somebody's general. Yeah, obviously. Recharging my poles. 20th lines are doing their thing, dog. But luckily, that artillery shot right there just helped me out. Hopefully, those guys are gone off the field. They've broken it multiple times, hopefully, but they just took a pretty heavy shot. I got some Hussars moving in. And gonna think twice about that. Probably pretty dangerous to move them in front of these flipping cannons. But if you look, the enemy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They have 14 artillery pieces covering this area, and I think at this point I was like, look, dude, we can't. Like, they're pretty broken. They're not really together. Our infantry would mess them up pretty well because our infantry probably is better than theirs. But going through a little valley up towards a little elevation point right here against 14 guns. And by the way, those are 10-pounders. Those are 5-pounders, but still 6-pounders, 5-pounders, and 10-pounders. So that's 4 10-pounders. And oh, look right here, I forgot. Okay, so they have 16. There's 2 6-pounders over here from Russia. So there's 16 artillery pieces covering this area. I don't have any artillery, and my ally only has 3. And these are 8-pounders, so they're a little more effective. And they're French trained, French artillery. But this Austrian artillery is still coming in pretty hard. Over here, the French player with the Guard has actually ended up taking this house with the Shoshas of the Grenadier of the Guard, or the Old Guard Grenadiers, Shoshas. But they did lose a lot. I mean, 74 out of 136 guys are still, it's a pretty good chunk of men that, for the Old Guard that aren't there anymore. But this is not looking good. As good as it looked earlier for us, with us kind of getting some really good cav charges in and everything like that. Right now, it's no longer looking well. Like, basically routed through 4 infantry units right there, but now this artillery is just hammering us. And in total Napoleon, you don't run out of ammo in your artillery. So, French player is actually going to start moving up through here. This is the 1807. Didn't really think about it, but you know, that's a pretty good move, because what happens here is it opens up an opportunity. a very amazing opportunity for us. Because as you'll see in just a second, the Helder Republic is going to gift us with a magnificent gift. And back here we've got the French, 1807, Spain. The French have arrived on this side. He and the French, I mean, they're not the French. The Russians have really good cav. General is over here. He's going to charge with his guys. Ooh, what the heck? How did those guys die? Ooh, well, no, I don't know how they died. But see, there, I mean, that's he's got a good roundabout charge on him. If he, I don't think he could break him because that's 140 some guys, and I don't even think those 3 units. So we've completely lost this little flank because that was the last of our guys. So I mean that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cav, 1 general. So I mean it's 5 cav, 1 general. So I mean these guys would have been best to just have watched this area and everything, but that wasn't very good for us losing that whole flank. Because we at the moment we have them pretty contained in this area, which we're contained and split, so it doesn't really do. There's not many favors for us. Austrian player kind of lost some shoots in, it looks like, some Jaegers. He had 4 units of Jaegers he lost. The Austrian player is currently holding this whole area, and the Imperial Guard is here in force. We do have Imperial Guards. I don't even know where the Imperial Guard. Okay, he still has his Grenadiers au Cheval. They are beaten up though. Daggum. They are beaten down. But see right here, with the French player moving his units here, the Helder expedition decides that he needs to send reinforcements over here too, which gifts us. I was trying to send my guys around. That was dumb because there's no need to do that because the Russian player's not there anymore. It's going to take forever too. Which could have done it, not bad, sent 1 or 2, but with this happening here and the Imperial Guard thrusting its way through, I start swinging over my Uhlans. Because I don't really know. Obviously, this situation was handled significantly, but he did move his units over, and look at this. 3 units guarding that area. Imperial Guard is moving up. My French ally here is starting to push his infantry up. I start pushing my infantry up. This is our. This is about to be a clutch. We see an opening, as I said. This is an opportunity. In battle, when you see opportunities, it is best to try and take advantage of those opportunities, as good or bad as they are. But like I said, look at this artillery just pounding us away. There's no ability. Oh, and they had stakes too, so any cav charge just would have been shut down. But here we go. I take the advantage. The guard is coming up. We got a 1807 Spain on this side is starting to push in with his cav too, and we're gonna gut him. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry units. Here comes the corps of cuirassiers, not corsairs. Do a charge, slow them down. Here come the cuirassiers, they're coming in. The other French players send in his dragoons. The Imperial Guard is catching up. This is it right here. I send my Uhlans into another area. Austria is starting to scramble some his chevaliers over. French player is pushing up the hill. I decided to take the left. My cav is coming through this way. His other French players, hussars, are pushing up. The Uhlanis are still in here. And right now, this is the guard. The guard is entering combat. And these guys are separated. They're not going anywhere. They're stuck. I have my Poles come in behind them, probably taking some shots from the guard. But these guys are breaking. This was an entire flank crushed due to this guy moving 3 units over here. And he didn't have to, because Russia is sending units. I don't know if there's communication, someone asked him, or he just thought that he got scared. But see, we're now French players come up on the side, broken the 2 artillery pieces here. His Hussars are running rampant amongst them. Now we only have these 2 artillery pieces there. The Austrians are scrambling. We need to cut down some of these guys, so my cav is here to finish these guys off. My Polish infantry is starting to push up on the left flank. Ally still has 3 units. He still has 2 full cav units. General Dabrowski is moving in. But this was clutch. This was a game-changing event for us. Austrian player has set up a defensive line. And the Polish infantry is still taking a beating from this 6-pounder and this 10-pounder and 5-pounder. The Poles and the French will not be denied to this day. Imperial Guard is starting to shove some units over here to block off. He should have just kept his units coming in, more of his units coming in. All my Lancers and everything, all my cav is going to be pushing back over on this side now. I did lose that. The 16th Uhlans, they were the original guys that kind of went in. They took some spray shots from the Imperial Guard and suffered some casualties. But this is it. We have them on the ropes. They're starting to back off in this area here. There's no reason for them to, when the main push is coming from us here. Formed a line with my Poles. We're pushing in. Dragoons from the French player are going to counterattack the Pioneers here. Basically Grenadiers or some Austrian Grenadiers. Imperial Guard has pushed up. He shouldn't have sent such a mass because there's no reason they weren't going to cross here. We just could have shoved straight through here. But you live and you learn. My lines are a little thin. Should have thickened them up a little bit. But these guys right here, these infantry, I mean, they're all by themselves. But this artillery, we couldn't silence them. I mean, this sitting here, it's 27 to 40 guys still. You would think we would have been able to hush them up, but we were unable to. Scrap with the Pioneers is still going on. The Imperial Guard is starting to push up. French 1807 is actually sending some guys around. He should have just kept this guy, and the Imperial Guard should have kept his men here. Probably worked out better for us. I'm pushing up a couple of my regiments. I've got some Grenadiers and some Pehotas. Firing point blank. I'm hoping that they can kill some of these artillery crews before anything. We got some Pioneers charging. Let's see, can we get a volley off? Can we get a volley off? I see this. Pull these guys back. I don't want them to lose that. I don't want to lose guys in a melee. I know they're not going to... Pioneers are basically Grenadiers. They're going to do well in a melee. But they just kind of... taking blasts from this artillery. Look at the glorious Polish flag flying, though, next to the banner of the French. French does a charge over here against the Russian artillery. He's pushing up on the flank. All the Russian infantry over here is militia. They cannot form square. These Hussars are going up against Dragoons. They should lose out, and they do. They take a massive L. One of the Austrian players rushes in some Chevaliers Légers. It's basically Dragoons. I form square with my Grenadiers to support this unit of Frenchmen. We are pushing them back. Beat those Pioneers off. My light infantry here are starting to throw in some hot lead on those infantry, kind of flanking with these Grenadiers. Should have charged, but charging does expose them to everything else that's over here. French player is pushing up. He has so much infantry. He has infantry all over the battlefield. My infantry is basically just a placeholder. Ooh, I think he got some of his own guys with that blast. Infantry here does pull back. Poles actually have really pretty decent morale. And this is what I don't understand. This charge here. This is Young Guard. These aren't even like Grenadiers or normal. These are like light infantry going in for a melee scrap. Now, I mean, they're winning there. I mean, and we've got more infantry, but I mean, there's no point in charging there. My Poles see the gap here. We're going to rush in, kind of finish off these infantry here. See, these infantry here can't form squares, so the Hussars are going to push in. If we can wrap this up flank, these 3 units can join up here. Still have Napoleon square due to these Hussars here. These poles get through. These guys can't form square, but they could go in, and we're going to try and silence this artillery that's just beating us down. There could be some crossing here, but whatever. Some rules are dumb for this game. But I understand them. Gonna go in here. Gonna get the artillery. Plus, these guys were supposed to swing in. We're gonna get the artillery. We ran off those Hussars there and those Chevaliers, and we're gonna get the artillery. Well, actually, you got some Hussars still fighting there. These Ulani, though, go a little deep. If we can finish off this, we can push up. But see, there goes the old guard in a charge. Why? Your guys are literally destroying them, and they charge them. This whole side has been pretty much broken. We're pushing up now. My Ulans over here have been routed. They did their job. They got in there and messed stuff up, destroyed these 2 artillery pieces. My Grenadiers are trying to form up back with the main line. This unit right here of Hussars is almost beat up, but these are my last 3 Hussar, or my last 3 Cav units. They've been all over the battlefield. But see, now the thickest amount of our units are right here. But see, this is a waste of such good men. The old guard are breaking there. There was no point in charging here, but he did. I'm pretty sure Dabrowski has already been routed off the field. Because artillery decided to hit him, and it did. So there he goes, running around because he got hit by artillery. French players pushing up. I'm pushing up my infantry as well. Got some reforming my whole line. So my whole line, all the line I have, is still in the fight. 3 units of Cav still. They are beaten down though. Got 1 Hussar. We're at 2 Hussars. The general and some Ulani, the 7th Ulans. 7th Ulan. So we are pushing up, but we have them in a retreat. To see these guys can't form square, so might as well try and get them off the field. They've already been broken once. Devastating charge. They're not going to stay in the fight much longer. We've taken out most of their artillery is offline, but our whole right flank is broken because of that charge. Like, look at this line right here. This is where the old guard was standing right here. Look how many old guard are dead. And look at this line. But then in melee, they were able to be surrounded and cut off, and it just devastating to us. Devastating. See some Hussars. Figure my guys can beat them, and they will. But I do see the Cuirassiers coming over, so it's time to get these guys out because the Cuirassiers can knock down my little guys. Doing a slow push. Austria still has good numbers, but I mean, losing this front is hard. It was hard. I didn't even know this happened. I just looked over there and saw it happening. The Cav that was over here for the Russians has swung all the way around, so they are now completely behind us. We are making a daring assault, though. They still have this house. They got some Grenadiers. I think the Helder Expedition Grenadiers are still here, which that's not really good for us because I have Grenadiers, but those guys are pretty beat up. I think I've got one more right here. They're pretty beat up, too. The Polish infantry is not the best, but you don't have to be the best when they just got a hold. But look at these uniforms. So awesome. Such good uniforms. Ah, that's so beautiful. With a flag flowing in the background. I don't know why they don't have a flag, but they don't. Interesting. But we are, right now, we're kind of reached a point of repositioning. I do have my Cav in the back here, waiting to support my comrades. It's time to push up. This lone line infantry of the Russians has found itself cut off and by itself. The Odessa. pretty cool that this game that does give typically most of your units. I think these guys are just light infantry, so they don't really get a name. But most of these guys, Malopolski, I guess that's a town, Trimo, and just like all these guys here, Champagne, Gross und Erdprinz, I believe they're a group of guys from Germany. Probably, if I had to guess, from Rhineland or somewhere. We got like cool uniforms. But we are fighting a fight here. Finally have my men in some pretty good squares. We got it going on like Donkey Kong at the moment. But look at that fire. These guys are holding their own though, but they are being quickly. I mean, look, they even do pretty good damage to be. We do have Jean Linnaeus, the Brave, holding on. The Polish cavalry has set up. Helder expedition has some dragoons, and there are some Jägerschützen that are still behind us here. These Austrians are sadly just kind of walking through my guys, and my guys are just going to cut them down. Do break off those guys. It's time to push up further. Start trying to collapse. If we can separate these two units, then maybe we could be in good shape. French player kind of... The two French players back here are pretty much scrambling. The Imperial Guard is still active, though, which is good that their units are coming back. I do route those Jägerschützen, and the Helder Expedition dragoons do get routed off. So we are holding our own. This poor unit here is getting vaporized as well. Realigning his artillery piece. This guy's artillery piece did stay online for the whole battle, and it is still putting. I don't even know how many kills it got, but it had to be a pretty good amount because it held its own, and for this entire fight it has fought and killed and shot. Helder expedition kind of moving straight into these guys. France, Spain right here. They have some low morale units, but they have some really high skill units that are really good. Like these Legion Hanover, I think they have pretty good reload and accuracy, but their morale is only like 1, so they have pretty low morale. Austria is backing up. This is when we really needed the Imperial Guard to make a push right here. Come in behind. Just take a look at that artillery. That was artillery. Came straight in and cleaved these guys. And they just took a cannonball, but they're going to get back up. No worries. No worries. See if we can't get some of that action again. Come on. There we go. Well, I missed. Oh, the cannonball bounced up, though. Come on, what we got? What we got? What we got? I think. Nope, I'm pretty sure that one went way up here. And is this one shot? These guys are breaking, though. Nope. My guys are pushing up still. We're throwing down some fire on these guys. Where's the third? There's a third. There was one, too. Nothing. The Austrian here does do a charge of his cuirassiers into the French player here. This is the only unit that can form square, I think, that he has, except for these guys, which is a general unit, so it's actually inspiring everybody. Most of mine... I lied. Yeah, most of mine can. So I try to charge these cuirassiers. Trying to break them, trying to give as much help to the French player over here as I can. Did not know that there was a flipping square like here in the woods. You couldn't even see them. But French player, Imperial Guard is finally coming up. We really need him to push really hard. We have a really good line, though. May have rushed it here. But we had a really, really good line going. I was kind of pushing my poles left to right, trying to center. So if they needed help over here, pushed them up over there to help. If they needed to come over here to add support to the French on the left, they could. Like, see, I can try to gang up on this unit and break it, push these units up, get these three to shoot here, these units just shoot here, break those guys. See, too much cavalry is still in the fight. Like, Russian cav didn't get engaged till basically the very end, and they had one engagement here, and that was it. So these are my last two. These Caesars broke. Cuirassiers are coming in. Maybe we could try and break them here, but it's not gonna work. The other French player does actually have some Cuirassiers. If I'd known that, I probably would have waited. I just forgot. But we are making a pretty good push here. This is where we have them. We have them trapped. We have them bottlenecked. They're breaking out with the Cav, with the Imperial Guard. If we can hook up with the Imperial Guard, hook up with the Imperial Guard here, we should be okay. This fight, it was a pretty long one. This was it. It could have gone any way at any moment in time. Trying to flank around here, because I know they have a bunch of guys. Some Deutsch line infantry. I guess that's the Hungarian line infantry. That's German. See, Imperial Guard. He's got his guys coming up. Should have waited for the Imperial Guard, but I did not. Charged in with my 7th line. But they broke. I guess they got swarmed. My general coming in, or my combat general coming in, he will break as well. You see here, most of the French here has been broken by the enemy cav. It's not looking good. He's got his, how many Cuirassiers have we got? We got Chevaliers, basically heavy dragoons. He's got his general over here too. We do have 2 units of dragoons, or a Cuirassier, which is, they're holding pretty well. They got the general supporting, but they have 1, 2, 3 units of Cuirassiers. So it's not going well. This is where they basically try to do a breakout too. Russian troops are really good at melee. I try to do a bayonet charge to try and stop them from hitting my line. But this is kind of a desperate situation. When in doubt, always go bayonet. This guy should have just tried to be getting this guy's face right here. Pushed up really, really hard. These guys actually came back. So I tried to get them back in the fight, but see, that charge really broke a lot of my guys. I rear charged these men with my grenadiers, Malopolsky, but it's pretty much too much. It's just not, that charge really did hurt really, really bad. It was a desperate situation, but sometimes desperate situations, or sometimes going all out sometimes will make stuff happen. Especially in the end when everybody is at their end. Because my units are pretty tired. Well, I guess they always says they're fresh, but that charge really did mess up my troops. These voltages are duking it out. Well, these guys should break them. But see, now the fight is kind of disintegrating. Do a charge of my Pahota into these guys, knock them off the field. Austrian player still has a couple units here, but their cav is, they have so much cav still. But at this point, it's pretty much just knocked down. See here, he still has his artillery shooting in. He needs to shoot at these guys, and you'll see why. But they're not. I guess they're shooting at these. But see, right now, other than these guys right here, they're mostly disengaging us. And right here at the house, they're disengaging us. Because we're reaching clutch time, 17 minutes left. We actually have more units on the field than they do. They have cav still. But in this mod, you can house yourself in these houses, and each house gives you a point. I believe this house here is 4 points. This house here is 4 points. 2 points, or a point, 2 points, a point, a point, a point. So there's 4 points here. That's 8. That's 10 or whatever, and then you got some points in those houses there. So at this point, these guys are pretty much disengaging. They're kind of keeping us back so we can't chase them. or slowing us down. But see, this artillery piece needed to be shooting at these guys. But we're going to fast forward it here a little bit. Because we've still got some engagements going. The Russians have got their grenadiers coming over here. Grenadiers for the Russians are really good, kind of in melee. I do send in my guys trying to bayonet charge on the flank, maybe get some kills there. Breaks off one, breaks off the other one. So this is it. We are disengaging. The fight is pretty much done, other than up here on this hill. They got some guys tired. So at this point, we're like, oh, great. We need to make a scramble for the houses. So we need to get this house. This is a 2-point. The enemy is moving to these houses to get garrison them. But we need to go get our 4, all these points here. So all my units are going to start rushing back. And these 2 units are taking a road all the way around to our fort. So right now we saw these guys, and this is when it became a mad dash to get all the way back there. So you get a victory. Now, and realistically, yeah, this is maybe a strategic win, a tactical. I don't know how you would say it. Tactical win, strategic loss. Tactical win, strategic loss, or strategic win, tactical loss. But if we kept fighting, and if they wanted to keep digging it out, we probably would have ended up beating them. So I guess you could say they're the ones that were withdrawing from the field. So we've taken the field, so it's a strategic win for us. Well, it would be a strategic win, tactical loss, because we've held the field. But we're just got some guys shooting in this house, getting rid of these grenadiers. They do break. We do get the house. Trying to get my guys back. So I think they got this house. I think this house is 4. This is a 2-pointer, or this is a 2-pointer, and this is 1. So they've got like 6 points right here. They've got 6. Then we've got 2. Then we'll get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, I think. Or something like that. I think one of these was a 2-pointer too. So if we can get those, we'll win with our LOC, or lines of communication houses, as ever you want to say it. So we're all making a mad dash, trying to get in the houses. How are y'all guys? There's only 12 of you, and you're poor souls. Poor souls. Let's check out some Helder, guys. The action's pretty much died down now. We're making a scramble. This mod is super fun. This is one of the funner games that I had. I love the Poles. Their infantry is not the greatest, but it doesn't have to be the greatest. Compared to other units, look how glorious this unit looks. That's just a glorious unit. With the gold and everything. That's just an awesome unit. The Zapkas for the Poles, or I don't know how to pronounce it, Zapka. They give their guys such an interesting look compared to other factions. But then I'm hoping to get some more videos of other factions, and because I think I've got another Polish one. I've just put one out with the Imperial Guard, but I've got some other ones to kind of put out where you can kind of see the different looks, because the difference between French Spain is different than French Italy or French 1806, or even the French of the 1812 campaign. I think they have the French army from 1809 or 1810 to 1813 or so, or 14, I believe is it. So they even have the look, because those guys actually more have the standard hat that you see with the Fusiliers of the line and the vanilla, compared to, let's see, what do we got? The tricoin or bicoin hat that the French have during the Italian campaigns and the earlier campaigns in Germany during like 1806 to 1809, at the high point of basically the French Empire. because the French army during the 1806-1809 campaign was pretty much unbeatable, and it was pretty much undefeated, I think. A lot of awesome stuff occurred during those times. Um, Duchy of Warsaw became active, and that would be where you saw these guys, the Poles, kind of come into light. Even though they already actually had, can't remember the guy, maybe Dabrowski even had a legion. I know there was a legion of Polish soldiers that were in Italy. There were some Poles in Germany, I think in 1807, 1808 that fought. And then, obviously, dog's playing with the toy now. The Vistula campaign, or the Vistula Legion, fought in Spain. So the Vistula was kind of like the original Poles that actually served with Napoleon on his campaigns, and they were actually kind of the best. And when the Poles they had the Duchy of Warsaw, you actually had a rivalry between the original Polish soldiers that served in like the Vistula legions and other stuff like that, and the normal guys like these guys that served with the actual Polish army. Well, they got their pants dirty. All right, so here we go. This is for it right here. This house, if we lose this house, we lose the game by rules. Even though if we had like 5 more minutes, we probably would have won because we have all these units coming here, and we would have held that area. So, yeah. Looking back at this replay and looking back at this game, I probably should have kept these guys like here and forced these guys to either charge through me or make them stop and shoot at me, because we're running on 4 minutes, and by the time they get in the house, it's maybe like 2 minutes. So if I had and I have these guys coming up, and we got some voltigeurs coming up, and we have 3 Imperial Guards. So if I'd actually just held outside this house, spoiler alert, there may be a happy ending to this for the Poles and the French. But, spoiler alert, 50 Strelke bait or 50 Jaeger can beat out 81 Pahota of the line and a general unit of swords, especially Gene. You know Linnaeus with the name of Le Brave de Brave, the brave of the brave. You know he ain't going down like anybody, and he's going to fight. So, look at that. They got in at 245. Linnaeus is dead. Instant boost to them as they get their general, and then those guys are just like, oh no, we're not gonna win, even though they've only lost like 15 guys. I send in my Fazili guys, and they instantly, I'm pretty sure they instantly, yeah, they don't even get in the house. They don't even get in the house. They lose like 3 guys, done deal. They're like, oh cool, and then all those guys that died afterwards. So if I had actually just held the line outside instead of listening, because we already had the house in the general, but you know, if I had just done. But hindsight's 50-50. Wait, these guys aren't in the house. Okay, about to say. All right, well, see, now we got 1 minute left. But it was a really great game. Awesome game. I'm hoping to get more games up of this. I still have some vanilla games that I have up that I can still upload. I just got to figure out which ones they are in the replay section. But this is a really fun game. It was kind of bittersweet to lose out like this, and then looking back, it was like, it's really honestly, out of everybody, it's probably my fault, even though there was a few things that could have gone our way if no charge here, had a little better decision-making here, been a little more steadfast over there, you know. But it was just a game. It's a good game where it lasts a pretty good, decent amount of time, but you also say, hey, look, I could have done this better, and the game could have gone out just a little bit better. But as you can see, great game. Everybody had like a really good amount of kills. I did 1,700 with my guys. I took kind of pretty heavy losses. I have one of the smallest armies. Me and the Imperial Guard had the 2 smallest armies. We took both significant losses. Over half of my men are dead. The Hilder expedition lost a lot. They lost a lot. Oh man. So I mean, take it as you will to draw just because they had more houses than us with more points. But it's a great game no matter what. Um, my Cav did wonderful. I love it. I love Cav in this game. They're super fun to use. I'm glad when I've used them well. Hussars. I mean, look at the 7th Elan, 288. And look at my combat general with 263. Infantry didn't do bad. It's pretty significant for them. You know, these guys, I've never really used these guys. This is like the first game I used these. Light infantry. But I mean, they did really well for an infantry. Because the infantry, in order for infantry to do well, you got to be a little patient because they don't have the accuracy that they do in the vanilla. So you got to wait them out, use some really good shots. But fun game, good game to all these guys. Just super fun, super fun. All right, so leave a like, make a comment. You know, have some constructive criticism if you want to. Don't batter to me. Because I just enjoy, I guess, having these games and watching these games just to see how they win and everything. I think it's fun to have them, I guess, catalog. But, you know, I'm not looking to be a great at this or anything, because I'm definitely not. But, you know, you live and you learn. Have fun doing it. And I just enjoy replaying them and showing them to people. So leave a like. If they enjoy the video, hope you do at least. And thanks for watching.